What is up, Montana sports fans? You've just stepped into Wide Left Sports, where the stories are real, the passion is loud, and the athletes come first. This isn't just another sports show. This is Montana. Small towns, big dreams, long nights, early mornings, and people who flat out love the game. From Friday night lights to summer ball under the sun, from gym floors to turf fields. If it matters here, we're talking about it. Today's episode is another chance to give Montana athletes the mic and let them tell their story the right way. So settle in, turn it up, and get ready, because this is Wide Left Sports. But first, here's a word from our sponsors. Wide Left Sports is proudly sponsored by TDS Fiber, bringing fast, reliable internet to Billings and beyond. Whether you're streaming the big game, uploading content, or just trying to keep the whole house connected, TDS Fiber delivers the speed you need without the lag. Check availability in your neighborhood and make the switch today. TDS Fiber, internet built for real life. Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. Today I am joined by Billings Central athlete Howie Martin. Howie, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Just getting ready to go for basketball season. We got that going. We got a game at Laurel tonight, so pretty excited for that.
Heck yeah. So I guess my first question is usually the same for a lot of the athletes that I have on the podcast, but
Yeah.
what fueled your love for sports?
I just love to compete. I do it in three sports, and I just love to do it every day. I love being around my teammates, around my coaches. It's just kind of what I love to do. I just always have loved sports. It's always on at my house when I'm at home, and yeah, sports are a really big part of my life, so that's why I play them.
I love that. So you are constantly doing sports from, football season in the fall to you go right into basketball, and then right after basketball, you're doing high school baseball, and then you do Legion. So what is that constant grind like of really not getting a break from sports?
Yeah, I'm pretty busy for sure. I've never really had an actual summer in my entire life, and that dates back to like my time in like Little League or stuff like that. So, yeah, there's that. But I just have to, stay prepared year round and get ready for whatever comes next, whatever sport that might be. So I gotta keep strong in the weight room too as well when I'm having sports every.
For sure. So take me back to when you were like younger. You mentioned the Little League days, and obviously those are some fun times. But when did you know that or not football? When did you know that sports were going to be your focus, and that was going to be kind of your life of doing it year round?
Yeah, definitely. When I was younger, my dad probably had a big part of that. He used to coach my Little League baseball team and travel teams when I was a kid, so definitely pushed me to become always active in sports. And I kind of grew up in family where sports is like a big deal. My dad and my mom both love sports. I love them too.
I love that. So now let's focus on football for a little bit. You play quarterback, which obviously comes with a lot of responsibility. You are in charge of the entire offense. And so what do you love most about leading the offense?
Yeah, quarterback's pretty fun to play. Just that leadership role that you have as being a quarterback is something that I enjoy doing. My coaches do a great job of putting me in situations where I can succeed. So I'm just grateful to be able to play that position and have the teammates around me for me to be a little successful at it.
I love that. So then how has your role changed? You're obviously a senior now and you played all 4 years at Central. How has your role changed from year to year?
My role?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year it was my first time being a quarterback, in the offense as a varsity starter. So I had great seniors to help me perform in that position. Jack DeBorg, Jackson Ritchie, Vinny Souza, those are all great guys to look up to. They're all pretty successful and great players. So in football, yeah, those guys were really good role models to look up to. So yeah.
I love that. And, Central is always known for being one of the top dogs in State A for football, really all sports, but especially football. And so, what does it mean to you to put on that Central jersey and get to uphold that, legacy of great football there at Central?
Yeah, that means everything to us at Central. To be able to put on the ram horns and the green and white every Friday night, it means a lot to guys here, and that's a credit to our culture at Central. It's a little bit different when you walk in this building from anywhere else. We have a really tight brotherhood, and people are proud to be a part of it.
I love that. So, speaking of brotherhood, I had one of your teammates on, William Snell,
Yeah.
and got to talk about your guys' connection a little bit. What does it mean to have such a connection with one of your wide receivers and, have a friendship obviously outside of the football field as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really special connection. We've worked together for a very long time, and we've both had success together, and it just means the world because we love each other a lot, and um, yeah, it just is great to look at all the work we've put in and see where we are now. So
I love that. So, take me back to the state championship game because you guys won state this year. What was that like, as a senior, as a starting quarterback, to go out on top for Central and win the state championship?
yeah, it felt good. Just a lot of work that was put in during that time.
I love that. So, are there any like big games that like you're going to remember, in the future that are just like these are the biggest games that I'm going to remember for a long time?
I mean, anytime we play Laurel, it was a pretty big game, and just like the playoff games, the atmosphere was pretty nice. So, um, yeah, I mean, a lot of our games, like not to be like sound arrogant or anything, but like some of them weren't that close. But
No, yeah, that's definitely true. There were
but
some
yeah,
that were not.
but yeah,
So talk. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Howie.
those Laurel ones for sure. Those ones are probably the biggest ones.
For sure. So talk to me about that rivalry, with Laurel, and then there's kind of a new one starting up with the Lockwood School being right here as well. So what is it like to have, rivals right in Billings that are really competitive with you guys?
Yeah, so I'd say football, Laurel's definitely our rival, and then basketball, Lockwood's kind of transitioned into being our main rival. But having both those schools within a 25-mile radius, um, it's pretty special because the gym gets packed when we play them, the football field gets packed when we play them, and people around the city of Billings are really excited to go out and watch those games. So um, it means a lot to be in those games, to play in them for sure.
For sure. And so then, the really cool thing about Central, and I talked to William about this too, is you guys play your home games at Rocky, which is pretty awesome that you guys get to play your games at a college campus. So, how awesome is that for you to get to play your home games there?
Yeah, Rocky's a great facility. We've embraced that as our home field the past year we played there, and we've really not known anything else than playing like Friday night football at Rocky. So we're really grateful for them for letting us use their facility, and it's all yeah.
That's awesome. And then, before we go on to your other sports too, one of the many reasons I was going to have you on later in the year, anyways, for baseball, but you know, I reached out to you because you made the Shrine game
Yeah.
that's going to be played here in June. And so, what was your reaction like when you found out that you were going to be on that East roster? And I believe you're the only quarterback on that roster.
Yeah. So I found out on Christmas Day, I'm going to be in the Shrine game, and it's just a really cool opportunity to play in. You know, a lot of those really good football players in every position from around the state, and it's going to be exciting to see how our squad does against them. And we got some studs in our squad, so I'm pretty excited about that.
For sure. And how cool is it too? I saw a few Central names scattered around there as well. So how cool is it to get to play, one final game with those guys that you've played with for at least 4 years.
Yeah, we've got 4 or 5 guys on the team, I think. So it's going to be fun. Just one last ride with those boys. We've put in a lot of work together. So just one more, and we're gonna, live it to the fullest.
I love it. And then, obviously the Shrine game is a fun game well, actually, that's a different question before I get to that question. But the Shrine game is really cool because, you get double A guys, A guys like
Yeah,
you, and then there's B and C guys as well. And so how cool will that be to have kind of that mix of everybody from the state of Montana and even a Canadian kid on the team?
yeah. Just new faces everywhere, new positions, and everyone can play. So it's gonna be awesome to see, who's gonna show up above the rest. The cream will rise to the top in the Shrine game. So we'll see.
I love that. And then my final question in regards to the Shrine game is obviously, it's a game for something bigger than football. It's
Yeah,
for the Shriners Hospital there in Spokane. And I don't know if you know this, but I actually went to the Shrine Hospital when I was a kid. So I have a special spot
yeah,
for that game. And so what does it mean to you to get to play in a game that, obviously it's a fun game, but means something more to people, around the state and around the region?
yeah. Anytime you're playing something like that, that's just special, and it's awesome for people to watch. Everyone's excited about it. It hits different when you're playing for something more than the game.
For sure. So now let's move on to basketball season, which is where you are now.
Yeah,
And, obviously playing multiple sports, you kind of want to know how do they connect. So when you're on the basketball team, I know you play guard. So how does that kind of connect to you playing quarterback and then pitching and second base in baseball?
yeah. I mean, basketball, my position. It's basketball. Like football helps me with my physicality in basketball, and I'd say baseball. A little footwork kind of stuff. So um, it really helps my defense out in basketball and my just like my aggressiveness for sure.
And that was going to be my next question because obviously football, you had to be extremely aggressive.
Yeah.
And so does that kind of help you out during the basketball season, having that football mindset?
Yeah, we have a lot of like football minded guys on our basketball team. So, we're going to be physical. So that definitely helps us.
I love it. So then how do you, as a guard, kind of change your game when the team maybe needs more scoring from you or they need you to facilitate more to some of the other plethora of shooters that Central has this year?
Yeah, I just focus on getting downhill to the rim and, taking it play by play at a time and getting guys open because we got about 7 guys that can go off for 20 points any given night on our basketball team. That's a credit to their hard work and preparation that they put in. So just being selfless, and that's kind of a motto we talk about within our team. Um, so it's about the team, not me. So that's kind of something we preach heavily on.
I love that. And so, talking about guys that can go off for 20 points any given night, there were two scorers on this year's team that got 1,000 points in Toby and Darcy. And so, how cool is it to be a part of that for them, but also know that you're a little bit of a part of that, being on the team and facilitating to them for their baskets as well?
Yeah, it's cool. Those guys have played a lot of basketball, and 1,000 points is just a credit to the work they've put in as individuals, and we couldn't be more proud of them. And they help our team so much, so we're really grateful for those two.
That's awesome. A really cool thing too with Central is you guys play more games at the Metra. I just went to your guys' game against Lockwood last week. You guys played the Kickoff Classic, I think is what they call it. I know you guys have a game against Hardin there coming up.
Yeah,
So how cool is that to get that opportunity to play at one of the bigger arenas in the state, fairly frequently?
yeah, it's pretty cool. We get a little sneak peek divisionals at Metra. We get about 3 or 4 games there per year before the divisional tournament. So it's always great to have a feel for that court because, if it's your first time playing there, it's probably a little different the depth perception and stuff like that. It's a big arena, so if you're not used to playing there, it's definitely a little different.
That actually brings up a good question for me. So, with the depth perception, you're right, because your student section is right there.
Yeah.
Then on that, there's not a whole lot right on the court. So,
Yeah.
how different is that for you guys than when you're playing at like Central Gym or any of the gyms around the state?
Yeah, Metro is definitely different than all other gyms, but I'd say we're pretty used to it. Over the amount of times we played there, we're a pretty seasoned team, so it doesn't affect us too bad anymore.
That's awesome. So then, is there a game or performance, that you're especially proud of this year that you're just like, that's probably the best game that I've played this year?
As a team, I think against Lockwood, we were ready to play against them, and our defense really showed. But there's still a lot of stuff we can get better on individually and as a team. But we're not done yet. We still got a lot of room to get better. Trust me.
Awesome. So then, obviously football, it can be very fast paced,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's kind of methodically going down the field. Whereas basketball, you're constantly going back and forth.
Yeah.
So how does that pace difference help you in both, with the different demands?
Yeah. So, I don't do a lot of too hard cardio in football that much. Basketball shape is 100% different than football, and it takes about a month to get into it. So that first month of basketball season is pretty rough for us football guys. We're doing a lot of running.
Yeah, I can imagine. Football is more brute strength and trying to get through people, where basketball's a little bit, you got to go back and forth on the court and be able to do that for, 40 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So, now let's talk about baseball, because last year was the first year that Montana had high school baseball, and Central won. I think it was the overall state championship, because you guys did all classes last year.
All class, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was that like to, put on the Central uniform for the first time for baseball and then win it as well?
Yeah, it was great. We came out of our conference as like the number 3 seed, and then we ended up winning the state championship. And yeah, it was pretty special season last year for baseball. Our coach, Mike Martinson, great guy. But the team just rose to the top when it mattered most. In the tournament, everything that happened during the season didn't really matter. Just a lot of competitors on our team, and I'm really proud of them for getting it done last year.
I love that. So talk to me about that state tournament, because it seemed like it was a couple of just crazy days of baseball. So what was that like?
Yeah, I think we played Columbia Falls the first game, and we won by a couple runs. And then we played West High, who we lost to twice that season already, and we ended up winning in a walk-off home run. So that was a pretty special game, and I think a lot of us will remember that forever, especially Ollie. But then we played Belgrade in the championship, and we just got it done in the end. So yeah,
I love that. So coming into this year, obviously you guys are going to be seniors, and taking the leadership role even more so than last year. So how does Central's baseball team look for this year?
Yeah, so we had no seniors on our team last year when we won the state championship. So I'd say we're a seasoned team, even though it's our second season as a program. So it should be really fun this year, and I'm excited for it.
That's awesome. And how fun will it be? I think this year they're breaking it up by class. So how fun will it be to play the other A schools more than all of the schools that are in it?
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're still going to play West and Skyview, in some crosstown games that are non-conference. So we're pretty excited for those too. But just try to go get it done in Class A.
Love it. So, my last question about high school ball is, obviously you mentioned West and Skyview and Senior, they all have, Legion guys from West has the Scarlets, and then Senior and Skyview have the Royals. So how fun is it to play those guys, that you're either teammates with in the summer or that you're competing against on the Royals?
It's awesome to play against those guys because during the school year to play against those guys, and then for me to be with them almost every day during the summer. It's just a fun little thing that we have, and I think both of us really enjoy it. So
That's awesome. And so then how does that extra, what is it, month and a half, 2 months, help you prepare for the Legion baseball season then after?
yeah, it kind of just gets you in some just like live situations at the start of the year, just to get ready for the summer. So um, it doesn't really affect Legion too much because you're playing baseball already at
Right.
the baseball season. But it's definitely a help, I'd say, and it's fun to do.
That's awesome. So you're obviously on the Scarlets. I know you're one of the main pitchers, and then you play second base when you're not pitching. So, what is it like to, kind of have that pressure of being on the mound and having all of it kind of on you?
Yeah, I kind of developed the closer role in both the Scarlets and uh, high school last year. So um, yeah, I just had a lot of experience with that role. So it's pretty cool to see.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, obviously with the Scarlets, you have Coach Hoost, who's
Yeah,
one of the absolute legends in the sport of baseball here in Montana. And so, what is it like to have him as a coach? Every year.
yeah. Coach Hughes does a great job with the Red Side program. It's fun to be a part of, and he's just he's a winner, and he does it all the time. Every day he's out working. Not a lot of people outwork him as a coach, and it's it's awesome to play under.
That's awesome. And so then, how is that team going to look this year? Because I know, there were some super seniors on the team last year, and obviously, the junior class is going to be seniors this year. So, how is that team going to look this year?
They're going to be good. You got some Paxton Prill. You got a lot of younger guys that are going to be really good for the Scarlets, and they should have a really successful year.
I love it. And so, obviously, being a senior, you're looking towards the next level with college. And so, what does your recruitment kind of look like in this year?
Yeah, so I signed to play football at Montana Tech. Um, Coach Kyle Sampson, he does an awesome job with Tech, and I'm super excited to be a part of that program. Um, just like the success they've had like last year as a program, as
Yeah,
arts, and we got a good group of guys coming in as a freshman class, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
I love that. So, what made you ultimately decide football for college? Because, I mean, that has to be tough with basketball and baseball being right there.
Yeah, football's kind of always been my true love of the three sports. It's just the best to play and the one I feel most myself in. So that's why I chose it.
I love that. And, when I think of, the Tech roster, there's a lot of Billings guys over there. And so, how cool will it be to get to reunite with some of those guys over there?
Yeah, the Billings Central pipeline to Tech has kind of started to become a big thing over the past couple of years. So just to see those guys, it's going to be really fun, and I'm super excited.
I love that. And so, as we kind of wrap up, I have a few things that I kind of want to just rapid fire off to you. So, um, if you were to choose a favorite sports team, who would it be?
The Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl this Sunday.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Heck
I'm
yeah.
excited. Yeah,
So then follow up with that. What's your score prediction for Sunday?
I'm gonna go 31-17.
Ooh,
Seahawks.
okay, a little bit of a blowout. I like
Yeah,
it. I like it. And so with all sports, there are superstitions, and especially baseball, it's full of superstitions. And so are there any that you like do every single game, whether it be baseball or whatever sport, that you have to do to feel like you're on your top game?
I mean, I don't know any in particular. Probably just play catch with. I play catch with the same guy all season. Never switch it around. But that's probably not too crazy of superstition.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then what has been the best advice you've been given in sports?
Just be humble, or you will be humble. You know, that one's pretty special to me. Um, it's always the right route to be the humble guy in any situation. So just let your actions speak for your words.
Awesome. I love that. Well, Howie, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about all things Central and,
Yeah.
of course, Scarlets as well. And congratulations on making the Shrine game.
Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate this a lot. It's awesome to be on here.
Of course, you have a great rest of your day,
All right,
man.
dude. Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Wide Left Sports. If you liked what you heard, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and keep spreading the word. Because the platform grows when Montana sports fans show up for Montana athletes. These stories matter, the work matters, and the passion around sports in this state is something special. Huge thank you to our sponsors for helping make this possible, and thank you for listening, supporting, and riding with us. We've got the